Recycling bin has to be unusable? Okay. This one is short and the comments on another post here reminded me of it. The city I live in provides you with one recycling bin for free. If you want an extra one it's $10. If it breaks for any reason, they replace it for free. When I moved into my house the old owners left the recycling bin. Both handles were broken which made it near impossible to carry, so I took it to the dump to exchange it. When I got there, I was told it was still usable so they won't replace it, but I could buy a new one for $10. After a bit of polite arguing I asked if there were any restrictions on how the bin breaks to have it replaced. They said no, if it breaks for any reason at all and is unusable, they would replace it. So, I placed it on the floor and stomped on it a few times, until it was in pieces. I then picked them up and put them on the counter and said, "Excuse me, my recycling bin broke and I'd like a replacement please." They had no issues giving me a replacement. Now to the comments. Had a friend in college that if something was a little broke, he'd steal it or break it the rest of the way so it'd be replaced. 3 out of 4 lights out on the stairs outside. Kick out the last one, next day replaced. Hall phone broke. He flat up stole it. Replaced the next day, etc. True chaotic good. This is a perfect example. It's like that MASH episode where Margaret needs a new trunk but the army won't replace it unless it was damaged in combat. She shot it with a shotgun. I was just thinking of that. I loved her solution so much, lol lol. What's up ferret face? This reminds me of turning in our uniforms at the end of Army Infantry School to get new ones, only kind of the opposite. A lot of people got it into their head that they'd refuse to give you new uniforms if your old ones weren't damaged beyond repair, so they went crazy tearing them into rags. We got to supply and the people there just took all our old uniforms, no matter the condition, and gave us new ones. I was more than a little miffed. Genuine question, why were you miffed? Would usable ones have served a purpose? Like I say, genuine question as needless waste pisses me off too. Just wonder if the old unis were destined for rags anyway? I don't know. But seeing something destroyed for no reason bothers me. Also, these were 18 and 19-year-old idiots who took obvious joy in wanton, excessive destruction. It was just disturbing overall. Like, these are the guys who are going to get handed guns and sent into combat? Thank God for NCOs. I don't know what the old uniforms were destined for, but even as rags, they'd be more useful intact. Similar situation with someone I know and sausage egg McMuffins. There was some kind of deal going on where the sausage egg McMuffins turned out to be cheaper than the regular sausage McMuffin, but dude hates eggs. McDonald's refuses to sell him the sausage egg McMuffin without the egg, so he buys them. Then, because he is not a nice person, before leaving the drive-thru, he opens each sandwich, pulls out the egg, and drops it right on the ground. When McDonald's started their dollar menu, cheeseburgers were one of the items included. Great. I love their cheeseburgers more than I do their large sandwiches. But sometimes I just felt like having a hamburger. So, the first time I went there under dollar menu pricing and ordered a hamburger, they charged me regular price, which was more than $1. They said if I wanted a hamburger at the dollar menu price I'd have to. And I'm not kidding. Order a cheeseburger with no cheese. So, when I wanted a $1 hamburger that's what I'd do. I don't know why businesses make customers jump through hoops like this, whether it's cheeseburger with no cheese or watching as customers throw away parts of a deal they don't want. If nothing else, it doesn't help their image, because we talk about it. Just don't get me started about the time I tried to redeem an any breakfast sandwich free game piece and asked for a bacon, egg and cheese biscuit, but the manager said I could only get an Egg McMuffin because that's what was pictured on the game piece. To this day I wonder what part of any did that person not understand? The employees know how stupid it is, but they don't make the rules and aren't going to risk getting fired by breaking them. Yeah, I brought the styrofoam from a TV box to my city's recycling center, and when I got there the lady asked me if it was styrofoam from house walls. I said no. She said then I'd have to go to another place where they would charge me $50 to dispose of it. Then, she asked again, is it from your house walls? Annoyed, I said no, I just told you it was from my TV. She asked again, are those foam from your house walls? Then I realized. And said yes. Then she pointed me at the proper disposal bin. Nice lady, somewhat slow motor 9. I could see that guy you were talking to getting yelled at by his boss for accepting a still usable bin. Then later, getting yelled at for accepting one like that and breaking it himself so it could no way be usable. So, he just had to be the jerk because that's what the boss said. It's like his own little malicious compliance. It's malicious compliance all the way down. Lol, I work for a waste management company. We replace recycling and trash containers for free, but they have to be damaged. Back when I worked in customer service, I would get calls and emails from new homeowners who wanted new containers because the ones left were old or smelly, etc. I tried so hard to obviously hint at people that the container has to be broken for us to exchange it, wink wink, but only a few people got the hint. The majority of them were too busy yelling at me as soon as they heard me say unfortunately that they totally missed it before angrily hanging up. Sorry, woman shrugging. Did something similar with my driver's license a number of years back. If you moved, you had 30 days to get a new one with the new address, and it cost you a few bucks. I was waiting in line with it out and bored, DMVs tend to do that, and was chewing on it. Broke off a corner of it. Got up to the line and got told that there was no charge since it was broken. Every time I've had to get a new one like that, I'd take and snap it in half just to save those couple dollars. They just stick a sticker on top of your current address here lol. My grandmother did something similar with a door-to-door Corningware salesman. He claimed his plates were unbreakable. She asked if there was a you break it you buy it policy. He said no. And she took his plate, placed it upside down on the kitchen counter, took off her church lady shoe and smashed the back of the plate with the heel of her shoe. The plate broke, and she showed the salesman to the door. It's the same with USB dongles for software licenses. The old one needs to be broken in order for you to get a new one, so you can't just duplicate all the licenses contained. I know a guy who sent a photo of his broken dongle to the company that made them, and they said it wasn't broken enough. He had to smash it with a hammer and sent proof of that before he got a new one. I had a Logitech controller stop working on me, and to get it replaced under warranty I had to show proof of destruction. So I had fun with it and chopped it in half with an axe. The PC screen that says "Why didn't you dodge" got a chuckle out of me. Take my upvote. I feel like I'm having deja vu. Was this already posted before? Are you asking whether it was recycled? I don't repost. I recycle posts. The university I went to provided laptops for its engineering students. If there were software issues, it was weeks to get it fixed. If there were hardware issues, they'd replace it. You can imagine what people would do when they started having problems. I did similar with a tape measure. I broke just the blade on a Craftsman tape. They had just changed the policy. Instead of a new tape they'd give you a replacement blade. Brought it in, and when they said just a blade, I walked out the door and in view of the counter smashed it on the sidewalk. Replaced no problem. Is blade a specific tape measure term? I don't know, or do American tape measures actually come with a blade? And what is the problem with replacing just the blade? Blade is the metal part with numbers on it. If you just replace the blade, the case and spring inside are still old and crappy. Plus, it never really works getting the new blade in. I did this exact thing with a cell phone I had under contract with AT&T about 10 years ago. I had insurance on it, but the insurance wouldn't cover the screen being cracked unless the screen didn't function. I smashed it right there on the spot and got a replacement. Haha, I literally had this same issue with Verizon in 2003-2004, refused to do anything for me unless the phone was completely damaged. I took it outside the store, in full view of the guy that was just helping me, opened it up and lean it up on the curb and stomp it in half. Walk back in, dude is laughing and says, "Let's get you a new phone." GameStops won't take a sealed game. Opens game box in the store. "Okay sir, we'll give you $2.78 or 3.50 store credit." By the sounds of it, they were on your side and giving you hints while having to comply with crappy rules from beyond.